What's up, everybody? We're back with another one. In this video, instead of working with resin, we're actually going to be working with silicone. I don't know if you caught the last video, but one of the biggest problems I had in that video was my mold. My mold, I didn't have a mold. It's the problem, but it leaked out the bottom, and in return, it caused me to have to sand a lot. I had to sand the bottom of it too much. So in this video, we're actually going to be creating our own molds out of silicone. So it's I would like to get a permanent reusable solution. I know there are other methods, but I feel like with silicone I can reuse that mold for future projects. So let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to start by cutting out some of this cardboard. I'm going to use this to actually create the mold. Use this as the box. I'm going to cut some pieces out and then take some measurements and see if we can create a box for the mold. I'm actually going to take my coaster that I made in the last video and we're going to use it as the original mold piece. Alright, I got my outline of kind of how big I want the sides to be. I'm kind of just doing this on the fly. I don't really have an exact plan, but we're just kind of going with it, see what happens. Alright, I kind of got my layout here. Just cut out these X's here, these rectangles, fold them up, glue the corners, and then that should create the box that I need to start casting my mold. So we're gonna give it a shot and see how it does. Alright, I got the frame cut out. Now I just gotta fold up these side pieces. My camera stopped recording for some reason, but essentially what I did, I just pressed against the edge here and kind of lifted it up to create my seam. So now we got our box. We just gotta glue it together. I have a little hot glue gun I'm gonna get that set up. Alright, I got my glue gun set up. You can go ahead and get the glue in. Got our box. Glue is mostly dry enough to at least pick up. There is one more thing we need to do before we can actually start pouring. With silicone and using cardboard to make our mold, cardboard actually will soak up some of the silicone a little bit, so we're going to cover it in some packing tape. Try to cover the inside and all the edges in packing tape. So I got the taping done. I got my coaster in here. This note at the bottom here, product will not cure against surfaces containing sulfur, even when sealed. That does kind of concern me because I did look it up, and pine does have trace amounts of sulfur according to the internet. So I'm not sure how that's going to turn out, but we're going to try it anyway. All right, we got our part A and we got our part B here of our silicone, platinum silicone rubber. It says to stir before using, so we're going to stir each one of these here. I'm not sure how much of each I need to fill up this mold, so I'm going to start with probably 4 fluid ounces because this cup holds 8. Being that we need to do a 1-to-1, this will do a full cup. So we're gonna try that. If it's not enough, we can always do another mixture. Alright, got it mixed up. I mixed it a lot, but I still don't know if it's mixed well enough. But we're just gonna go ahead and give it a shot. So it says to pour at the lowest point and do the entire pour on one spot. So probably gonna do it on this corner here so you can see it better. All right, the pour is finished. It looks good. There's a lot of streaks. It did say to mix it fully to where there's no streaks, but I felt like I mixed it a lot. I guess not enough, but we'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and put it inside in room temperature to let it dry. It says you need to let it cure in room temperature. That full cure is about 6 hours, so we'll come back in 6 hours and check it out. All right, it's been about 6 hours. First touch, it feels like rubber. So we're gonna try to pull it out of this cardboard box and see what it looks like on the other side. All right, pretty cool. I think it came out pretty good. I just got to clean up the sides here, but that's not a big deal. I can just scrape that off. Now we just got to test it. All right, so we got one of the rings slotted in here. It actually slots in pretty well. It's a nice fit. I got my part A resin and I got my part B resin. And then I have my gold flakes here. We're gonna go ahead and mix that all together and then do a pour and see how this mold holds up. Got it mixed up. Let's go for the pour. I was way off this time. So I was a little off my pour this time. I'm not sure what happened, but I'll just go ahead and mix a little bit more and go ahead and pour it in. Alright, pour's done, just gotta let it dry. I still don't have a blowtorch, so I don't really know what I'm gonna do about the bubbles. I put a knife underneath it because it does seem like it's a little uneven. I'm not sure if it's the table or if it's the mold itself. We'll see how it turns out. Probably over 24 hours, I'd say. And it's the next morning, no leaks. Won't really tell what it looks like at the bottom till it's done curing, but a lot of bubbles, a lot of bubbles. It's been give or take 24 hours and it's hard, but it's a little, I can push it in a little bit. Still, I would probably say another 4 to 6 hours. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it overnight again and see what it looks like in the morning. All right, so it's the next day. It's cured, it's hard. So we're gonna go ahead and take it out the mold, see how it looks on the bottom, see if there's any leaks. I do suspect that there is gonna be some. Hopefully it's not too bad. It was actually not any leaks on the side. It came out pretty nicely. However, I don't know if you can see it on the camera. It does have like a little lip. It's like a little hump, but it's not too bad. It does have resin on the bottom here where the wood is. That wouldn't really be a problem. However, I have to stain the wood, so the stain doesn't really sit to the resin very well. So I'm gonna have to try to sand that down and get that layer of resin off of this wood. All in all, I think it worked pretty great. I think I'm going to make me a few more of them so I can speed up the production of these coasters. Yeah, it didn't really work. We're gonna try it again. I don't know if you noticed in the first attempt, I held down the coaster so it didn't drift anywhere, but on the second attempt I didn't really do that, and it kind of shifted, and I'm thinking maybe the pressure from me holding it down allowed it to not get as much underneath it. So we're gonna give that a shot again and see if that works. Alright, I got it out. It looks to be pretty good. I'm gonna take the coaster out and see what it looks like. Alright, got it off. It looks pretty good. There's some like imperfections like right here, like a little hole. But honestly, as long as the centerpiece is good and it holds the ring, then it should be fine. So now I got two molds. I'm actually using one right there. Got a brick on it so it doesn't leak underneath, just in case. But yeah, now I got two. Probably gonna make 2 more, so I have a set of 4. Yeah, I think these came out pretty well. It's this, once again, it's this Mold Star series.